What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today to talk a little bit about more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, specifically the Greninja raid that is incoming. And I want to quickly discuss the movesets and things like that that we think are going to be evident on Greninja himself. So first things first, I think we just need to look at some general Greninja facts and facts about the previous raids. Then we'll talk about the actual movesets that we expect to see. I have another video coming out later on this week that's going to be talking specifically about the builds that we kind of want to make, the kind of mon that we want to take into the event to offset what they're going to be doing. But for the most part, let's just kind of look at this first of all. And thanks a lot to Bulbapedia for dropping these facts. I am using Bulbapedia's site, and I'll be using Cerebi here in just a moment to talk about the previous raids. So shout out to those sites. Links will be in the description down below. Appreciate them, obviously, for just generalized fact droppage. Now, base stats for Greninja, we're looking at HP 72, attack 95, defense 67, special attack 103. Now, this is the important part. You need to pay close attention to that one. Special defense is 71, and speed is 122. So this mon is going to be really speedy, just like Cinderace was. Kind of expect, in this situation, for Greninja to probably drop, double attack when in defense mode, kind of like Cinderace did. So whenever he puts up that barrier, kind of expect double attacks start happening, which is going to suck, but we already know that they are mostly going to be special attacks. So, you know, we have some options here. We know exactly how we can kind of offset a lot of this. Now, HP isn't great, but, you know, once again, being a 7-star raid, you can expect that to basically be a max, which, as you can see here, is 348. So we're going to have a lot of defense to kind of contend, or say a lot of health to kind of contend with. So, you know, be ready for all of that. Now, what movesets do we expect Greninja to use? Well, first of all, like I said, let's go ahead and look at the previous Tera raids, starting here with Charizard. Now, Charizard had 8 different moves that Charizard could use. That's 4 basic moves and 4 additional moves. And for reasons I'll explain later, I expect Greninja to probably be somewhere either in Charizard's range or pretty close to. The reason being, the extra action that was on Cinderace was very interesting. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say if Greninja doesn't have a full set of 8 moves, he'll be pretty close. He'll be like 6 to 7, 6 probably being the minimum. Nevertheless, when it came to Charizard, the base moves were Dragon Pulse, Fire Blast, Hurricane, Focus Blast, and then the additional moves were Overheat, Terra Blast, Sunny Day, and Inferno. And I think Terra Blast, actually, we might see that come back for Greninja, which, once again, I'll explain here just shortly. Cinderace had High Jump Kick, Pyro Ball, Acrobatics, Iron Head, with additional moves, Bulk Up. Now, one other thing I want to talk about, both Cinderace and both Charizard had the hidden ability. In this case, I forget which one Charizard's was. Charizard's hidden ability was... it just says hidden ability. Anyway, doesn't really matter. The hidden ability on Cinderace is very similar to the one that was on Greninja, and for that reason, I think Greninja is most likely to have the protein ability, which is going to be really awesome when we get him. Now, the hidden ability for Cinderace wasn't really in effect, because his is a lot like protein, which means that whatever the first move he does is going to be basically the move that has... Basically, Cinderace basically makes sure he always has stab. Protein will ensure that whatever move is done first on Greninja is the typing he's going to be. So if he opens up with, let's say for the sake of argument, a poison move, because he's going to have a Poison Terra, that means Greninja will always be a poison type. Here's the deal, though. Even though that is the case, it seems like these abilities are kind of not evident necessarily on these mons. So I was initially, and in my original video, kind of thinking that maybe Greninja will be really scary because he's, you know, going to have an unpredictable type. Actually, I'm going to take that back, and I think he's always going to be water type. I don't suspect that the typing's going to change based on his ability. Now, it could happen, and that when we get to the moveset, that is something you'll need to be aware of. But basic moves we kind of expect here. Level 1 move, Night Slash, it is a physical move, power 70, accuracy 100, outside chance, but I think there's other dark moves that are going to be better for him moving on. Number one, it's a physical move. Number two, it's a fairly lowish power move. Move number two, Shuriken. Water Shuriken, I'm sorry. Water Shuriken is a water move. It is a special move. It is a signature move. And I say with a fair amount of certainty, he's probably going to have that move. Though, I think that move, because it is only power 15, and it can hit between 2 to 5 times, it is kind of a big question mark. I think that is going to be in one move that he's either going to do randomly and only hit like once, or kind of like how Cinderace did Bulk Up, or it's one of those moves that he's going to have an addition that's just going to be like a last-ditch effort move or something like that. I don't think we're going to see this move a huge amount, but do know that Water Shuriken is very, very likely going to be in that list. Smokescreen is a normal type move and is a status move. Smokescreen could very easily be on this build, but I kind of think it has a very low probability, though we do not see a lot of status moves. And the next one is also a status move, Spikes. Spikes is learned at level 28. It is a ground move. It is a status move, but here's the deal. I find Spikes to be highly unlikely. Spikes would only really affect you when you kind of faint and then come back into the fight. And here's the deal. Spikes takes a percentage damage. It's 12.7%, I believe. Unless I'm mistaken on that. I think it's 12.7%. And with Spikes, if you come back into the fight and you instantly lose that health, you're pretty much guaranteed. With the amount of time you lost and the time bar being reduced, with something like 20 to 25%, something like that, it's just an extra level of, I guess, deterrent. You can almost guarantee if he drops Spikes and you faint, your whole party loses. Is pretty much the way that's going to work. He's going to hit you with so much damage going forward. There's just really no point in even coming back into the match. So I kind of see Spikes as possible, but highly, highly unlikely. Though if he does do that, very scary. And I'm only going to talk about effects, or I'm only going to talk about moves that he will learn right now by level. We'll talk about TMs here in a moment, so we will revisit Spikes shortly. At level 33, he learns Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is a flying type move, but it is a physical move. Though, I do think Aerial Ace actually has a pretty decent possibility of being there. It is the only flying move here, and I kind of see that on the Mon that have been leaked out there. Though, being a physical move, pretty unlikely. It just doesn't seem like a very, very good fit. But it would be good type coverage, honestly. Extra Sensory is a psychic special move. It's a power 80. It's the only psychic move in the repertoire. It is 100% accuracy. It could very well be there. Extra Sensory would give some extra just psychic type coverage, especially considering he's immune to psychic moves. So there's a possibility, but being that there's an immunity to that, maybe it's just honestly for psychic, it's a tough call. But having the type coverage wouldn't be bad. Now, this last one is guaranteed. Hydro Pump. It is a water special move. Learned at level 68, 110 power, 80% accuracy, so you will miss fairly frequently with this one. But Hydro Pump is, I think, a no-brainer, a guaranteed attack move that he's going to be using a lot, especially considering he's going to be a water type, he's going to get stab on water, he's going to get stab on poison. I think it's a no-brainer. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to, he has yet to learn a poison type move just from the moveset here. Now, we will talk about some poison moves here in a moment, but we're going to switch over now and talk about moves that he can only use, or can only learn via TM. But we have seen quite a few TM moves in Tera Raids before, so these are all open game. First one up is Rain Dance. Rain Dance is a water special move. Basically, it's just going to make his water attacks hit that much harder. There's a possibility here, because he does, if you noticed, the only status moves we've seen so far have really been damaging moves for when you kind of come back in the fight, and of course Smokescreen as well. So the status moves here, it actually might be a thing. because it's going to make those water attacks that much more deadly. And you're going to want to go into this with water resistance anyway. So there is an outside chance Rain Dance might be on there. Or he'll just do Rain Dance at the very opening of the match, which that way Protein kind of does its thing anyway. So he does water, Protein turns into a water type, guaranteed, and then every water move hurts like Hades. That's a distinct possibility. TM69, Water Punch. It is the ice physical move. I'm sorry, Ice Punch. I said Water Punch. Ice Punch is an ice physical move. Power 75, accuracy 100. There's a possibility, but I think we have a better move that is ice that is almost guaranteed to be on there. So I'm just going to move over that one. Waterfall is a water physical move as well. Power 80, accuracy 100. I think Waterfall's probably not going to be there because we already have water coverage and we have water special moves. So I think if he's going to do a physical move, it's going to be something a little bit more interesting. Now, here's the fun one. Grass Knot. Grass Knot is the only grass move here, but it is a special move with 100% accuracy. Grass will, and here's the thing you got to be really careful of. Grass will do more damage the heavier your mon is. And with, I've seen a lot of people saying they're going to bring in Clodsire. Clodsire is a great choice for this because he's got water absorb, but Clodsire is a very, very heavy mon, 400 and something pounds. Grass Knot, if on Greninja, is going to murder that mon. That means your evolved Whoopers, your evolved Paldean Whoopers, Clodsire, are highly unlikely to be effective if Grass Knot's in this build. So a lot of you guys that are kind of relying on that mon, be careful. If we start seeing Grass Knot being used in these raids, you got to pull that mon out. That mon's going to get murdered with that effect. But, you know, it is what it is. Grass Knot would be really interesting. If that's in there, that's going to change the whole game for most people. Now, I think Grass Knot has probably about a 60-70% chance-ish of being included just because there's that many people that are planning to use this mon, and we've seen them kind of anticipate that before. Rock Slide is a rock physical move, highly unlikely, but it's the only rock move in the group. Possible, just understand there could be some rock coverage there. You know, it would give him just another way to kind of defend against. I say defend, but, you know, to be super effective against people that are coming in for the fight. Once again, we have Spikes. That's a ground status move. We've already talked about that, but that segues me into Poison Spikes. Now, Toxic Spikes. Toxic Spikes is specifically quite possible. Toxic Spikes is a poison status move, but here's the thing. When you come back into the fight, Toxic Spikes will only affect you with poison. They don't do damage. It's just guaranteed to poison you. Here's the deal. If you faint, come back in, and you're poisoned, that's not deadly. That's just a nuisance. It's gonna suck, but we have definitely seen status effects from Tera Raids before. Toxic Spikes, pretty possible. Pretty possible. Though I will say, if you're choosing one and only one poison move, Gunk Shot 100% will be guaranteed to be on this mon. Here's the thing, though. Gunk Shot is a physical move. Now, he's got a good amount of physical attack at 95. It's not the worst. It's definitely not that much lower than the special attack. So it is quite possible that Gunk Shot could be there. Gunk Shot is a 120 power with only 80% accuracy, but it's about on the level of Hydro Pump, and I think that is definitely a distinct possibility. Surf is up next. It's a water special move, but I think we have a water special move already that's guaranteed. If I were building Greninja, I would go for a little bit more coverage, personally. Though Surf will have Stab, and it will hurt. If Rain Dance is in play, I would count Surf out, only because having two moves that have Stab and the Rain Dance effect, I would say it's probably 50-50 between Surf and Rain Dance, now that I really think about it. One of those two will be on there most likely. I think Rain Dance would be interesting but deadly, but not altogether out of the question. I would probably choose Rain Dance over Surf personally, but that's just me. That and Hydro Pump is super, super deadly. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Surf's possible, but highly unlikely. Now, the next move I think is guaranteed to be on there. Ice Beam is an ice special move with a 90 power and 100% accuracy. It's the first guaranteed move, or I say guaranteed, move that I guarantee is going to be on there, that I think is, well, that I think is guaranteed to be on there, and is 100% accuracy. Everything else is 80% accuracy, and Ice Beam would give a lot of coverage. Ice, units that are coming to this generally aren't going to have a lot of ice resistance. They might be pretty weak to ice, in fact. So, depending. So, it gives you a good amount of coverage as a Terramon. So, I think Ice Beam is pretty much guaranteed to be on there. We already talked about Hydro Pump. Once again, another TM move. I just threw it on here because reasons, and it is TM 142. Hydro Pump's guaranteed to be there. Here's the dark move that I think has a really, really high chance of being on there. Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is a dark special move. It's 80 power, but 100% accuracy. And being that Ice Beam's the only other one with 100% accuracy, and it's got good type coverage, I think Dark Pulse has a really, really, really high chance of being on there. Blizzard. Blizzard is an ice special move. Once again, highly probable, but will it be? I kind of doubt it because I think Ice Beam is far more likely. Last one here on the list is Tera Blast. Now, Tera Blast is going to be a special move because special attack is higher. It also will likely be poison because your Terra type is poison. It's going to favor whatever status higher, being physical or special attack, and it'll favor whatever your Terra type is. Being that we already know the Terra type is poison, this becomes the second poison move. So it is going to have stab, just like Gunk Shot would, but it's a poison move with 100% accuracy. So I think Tera Blast is a no-brainer. It's absolutely going to be on there. No questions asked. So, you want my opinion? Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, and Gunk Shot. Those are your 4 main attacks. We will likely have Water Shuriken, Tera Blast, possibly Rain Dance, maybe Rain Dance. But I think at least those other 2 are definitely going to be extra actions. If there's a 4th one there, probably Grass Knot. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about my build? Good, bad, otherwise? Let me know down below. If you did like this, hit the little thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.